My ex has always been a cold woman. She's bipolar, and life wasn't always easy. Her outbursts in physical and emotional ways to get to me were soul-crushing, but I endured it because I thought she couldn't help it. Turns out that wasn't entirely true. She admitted to friends that she often punched me because she felt like it or wasn't getting her way. My kids had witnessed on several occasions her striking and verbally abusing me, and each time I took it without fighting back, hating my kids to witness this. At one point, towards the end, she was angry at me for not taking the trash out the moment I came home and grabbed me by the neck and started squeezing while my son stood horrified, watching. I told her our son will always remember this, and she let me go. I should have left long ago. I know this now. I'd like to think that if not for my children, I would have, but I didn't want them to have a broken home and held on to the hope that someday my wife would go back to being the woman I fell in love with. I know now that those days are dead and gone and had been for years. After everything came to light, my wife sat down with her friend, whose husband she was cheating with, and told her point blank, "Yes, it's true. No, I'm not sorry," and then my wife got up and walked away. I was told this by her friend. My wife left, took the kids, and moved in with him in an apartment behind the one we shared. Even then, I held on to the hope that she would see the grass wasn't greener with him. He had cheated on his own wife several times besides with my wife, and she knows this. I waited that entire first year, waiting for her to come back. She kept the apartment keys, and I assumed she was still holding on to them because she knew she would come home. But at the end of that year, they began their cruelty again, with him constantly dropping by the bus stop as I was putting the kids on the bus for school and telling me, "I've come to see my daughter off to school, not your daughter, mine." I told him, "Then why were you so content for the past 5 years to let me raise her, for her to have my last name, to let me be there at her birth and raise her as mine? Where were you? Why is my name on the certificate as her father instead of yours?" That almost earned me a punch to the face, and it did earn me a drunken visit by the both of them at the end of the night because he showed up to fight. My ex then decided to make everything public, going on Facebook and bragging about her new boyfriend. Our friends were shocked and reached out to me and his wife about it. I made sure to grab all the screenshots I could. She doesn't seem to care about the hole she's dug for herself with our upcoming divorce. Then again, why should she? I already got her with a paternity test. At the end, I became self-destructive. I kept wondering what I could have done differently or better. She blamed me for not being around for her, but if I wasn't working 2 jobs, how could we have survived? I didn't clean when I got home because I was too tired, and she's screaming at me about trash when our kids have colored on all the walls, tore down blinds, and put holes in the wall under her watch. But the not taking out the trash after working 16 hours was the problem. The worst part was that I wanted my family back so badly, I was believing it was my fault. It took a while to see the truth of it all. All that changed with my brother. He was determined to get me to play in his band, and even though I declined, he insisted that I meet the other members. That changed everything for me. I still declined, but I struck up a friendship with them and ended up casually dating a friend that the rhythm guitarist introduced me to. I quickly fell in love with this woman, 45, and it was a relief to be in a loving relationship with someone that wasn't a 24/7 screaming match that usually ended with me getting hit. Now, throughout this time, as I've stated, my ex still had the keys to our apartment. She would occasionally let herself in and drop off stuff for the kids. The first time she let herself in and my new girlfriend was there, it did not go well. She called me that night, asking me who she was and why she was in our apartment. I enjoyed telling my ex that my girlfriend was none of her business. She moved on, left me, and was living with someone else. The last few months, my ex has become erratic over my new girlfriend and has even begun to stalk her. My ex sent my girlfriend a Facebook friend request and demanded my girlfriend accept it. When my girlfriend refused, my ex called me, screaming that I need to tell her to accept it because she needs to see the kind of person my girlfriend is that I'm having our kids around. My girlfriend grabbed the phone from me and told her that she does not need to add her as a friend. Anything involving communication about the kids can be done through Messenger or through phone calls. My ex does not and will not have access to our private life, friends, and family because she is not part of my girlfriend's personal life. This didn't sit well with my ex. My girlfriend showed me the sudden burst of friend requests she got from people that had my ex as a friend. My ex then started letting herself into my place every weekend when I wasn't home at work to snoop around. I was on the phone with my girlfriend, who was staying with me while I was at work, to hear my ex walk in and my girlfriend asked her if there was something she needed. My ex claimed she wanted to see how much milk I had in my fridge for when the kids came over. My girlfriend told her we had it handled, and my ex left. When I got home, I demanded the apartment keys since she wasn't living there. She then took my son's keys and made copies for herself. When my lease was up, my girlfriend asked me to move in with her so that we could distance ourselves from my ex. My ex did everything she could to hinder this, calling the police and telling them I was leaving with her belongings, and when asked what was hers, she couldn't name anything in my place that was left that was hers. Now we get the kids every other weekend, and I was told by my children that they are not allowed to talk about what they did with me because she doesn't want to hear it. That didn't last long. Now she pumps my kids for all the information she can get. I'm sure it's jealousy. We live on the beach, my girlfriend is very well off, and when we get the kids, we take a short walk to the boardwalk to ride rides, let them play on the beach, or visit the aquarium. If they return home with prizes, my ex throws them away.